for Riel and welcome to the Wednesday News Moto. This week we've received another payment from YouTube and we wasted no time in donating it to Heartprint. Here's our donation grand total. Please do like, subscribe and comment. It really does help because this is what triggers YouTube to suggest videos. That means we get more views and that means more money we can donate. This week's ride is fittingly provided by Heartprint, and towards the end you'll see them go past one of the apartments where we used to live in Siem Reap, and it's also directly across the road from Heartprint Hub. Be sure to drop in and give them a visit if you're in Siem Reap. I do need to apologise that I didn't put out a video on the weekend, but it was my birthday and celebrations got in the way a little bit. Anyway, today is Wednesday the 27th of July, and in today's news we take a look at a new operation to look into the activities of foreigners living in Cambodia, a case of monkeypox on the run, and a warning that Wi-Fi repeaters are against the law. There's also word that Cambodia will soon introduce compulsory vehicle insurance. More on that later though. A case of monkeypox has been discovered in Cambodia on a Nigerian man who fled from Thailand. 2 lab tests were conducted on the man while he was in Phuket, and when authorities went to his condo to deliver the diagnosis and take him to hospital for treatment, he was nowhere to be found. The man had crossed the border in Sa Kaeo to Cambodia on Friday and was arrested at a market in Phnom Penh on Saturday. Apparently the man was overstaying his visa in Thailand, and there were thoughts that authorities would charge him if Cambodia sent him back. It turns out that Thailand's authorities have decided not to ask for the man to be returned, and he will remain in Cambodia while he's under treatment. The man's close contacts have been found and tested, and so far all are negative. Deputy Prime Minister Sa Keng, who is also Minister of the Ministry of Interior, has announced the launch of a large-scale operation to inspect the lives of all foreigners in Cambodia, except for diplomats. The minister's announcement comes after the United States listed Cambodia as a Tier 3 country in terms of human trafficking. This listing came as a shock because Cambodia has been actively working to prevent human trafficking in recent years. In order to eliminate suspicions and loopholes in human trafficking, the Ministry of Interior must launch a large-scale operation to inspect the lives of all foreigners, whether in hotels, construction sites and companies, except for diplomats, the Interior Minister said. He stated that the plan to examine the lodgings of foreigners who came into the country was to find out whether people entered Cambodia to work legally or illegally, and also to find out if the person was a victim of human trafficking. Speaking of foreigners entering the kingdom, bad weather, floods and rising COVID-19 cases have proven to be a speed bump in the planned recovery of Cambodia's tourism sector. The country recorded more than 210,000 tourist movements last weekend, and that's a decrease of 5.67% compared to the weekend prior. In total, there were 213,590 tourist movements, consisting of 192,050 nationals and 21,540 foreigners, so that's about 90% local movement and 10% foreign. The top provinces for tourism were, and see if you can guess them before I say them, Preah Sihanouk, Kampot, Siem Reap, Battambang and Phnom Penh. The decrease that was seen over the past weekend was no doubt exacerbated by unfavourable weather and heavy rainfall in the capital and provinces, which caused flash floods in some areas. National Road 5 was closed last week due to flash floods in the area. But it's not all bad news. Cambodia and Vietnam have agreed to boost cooperation to promote tourism in the seaside border provinces of both countries by the end of this year. That means tourists will be able to travel between the countries by sea as well as overland. The sea connection would link Preah Sihanouk, Koh Kong, Kep and Kampot provinces in Cambodia with southern Vietnam. This development has been applauded by many, saying that it will generate more jobs and incomes for people living in the coastal border provinces in both countries, especially the people living in popular tourist destinations and the nearby areas. There's also another development that will assist with weekend tourist numbers, but not until October. The Phnom Penh-Sihanoukville Expressway will be open for trial use in October this year, offering a free-of-charge use to the public. As of mid-July, the expressway construction was at 95% completion, and the remaining 5% is to do with the finishing touches such as installation of traffic signs, safety cameras, tree planting, and so on. The Ministry of Public Works and Transport is making a video to raise public awareness on usage of the expressway before the trial begins in October, as this is the first ever of its kind in Cambodia. With a length of 187 kilometres and a width of 24.5 metres, the US $2 billion worth expressway will make transport between Phnom Penh and Sihanoukville very quick. We recommend an alcohol breath test at both ends of the expressway prior to being allowed on it. The next section is crime. The Ministry of Posts and Telecommunications is urging people using signal boosters and repeaters in their homes to dismantle the units and to stop using them as they disrupt mobile network services. The ministry has issued a statement saying, "Disassemble the units immediately and do not use them anymore. If you continue, we will take legal action against you." The ministry is taking this action because the use of signal boosters and repeaters was found to have a serious impact on telecommunications services. Breaking Article 84 of the Telecommunications Law is punishable by imprisonment of between 1 and 5 years and with fines of between $500 and $2,500 US. An electronics dealer in Sensok district said customers buy the signal boosters and repeaters to improve their mobile connections. He claimed that the wireless connectivity service was not enough to meet the needs of consumers, especially online businesses that focus on telephone communication. So, if there is no service in their homes or areas, it is very difficult to do business or work, and it will affect their businesses. Telecommunications companies should improve their services and make signals stronger. For now, it is not adequate to meet demand. If the service is good, users won't need to buy the signal boosters and repeaters as these devices are expensive, he said. Down in Koh Kong, officials burned 212 kilos of seized narcotics during the celebration of the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. Koh Kong faces many challenges in terms of drug trafficking due to the province's geography being open to sea and land, and also its position on the Thai border. Local authorities are working with their Thai counterparts to reduce the drug smuggling that is occurring in this region. On the other side of Cambodia, wildlife is being trafficked over the border with Vietnam. The wildlife includes things like iguanas and turtles, with the most recent haul weighing in at 335 kilos. Oh, listeners, I am beginning to dread this section of the news, but it is time for motor madness on the streets of Phnom Penh. A foreign driver found out the hard way that stairs in Phnom Penh are not designed for cars. According to sources, the foreign national was seen driving a grey Nissan car. He suddenly started driving up the stairs of the bridge building at high speed, moving towards a shop in the base of the building. His vertical drive soon stopped as his car became stuck on the stairs. Police arrived at the scene to sort the man out, and he has reportedly agreed to pay $100 to the owner of the building. A raptor had a close encounter with a Phnom Penh road divider, a fish truck, and a chicken truck. Sources saw a Ford Raptor pickup truck driving along National Road 5 in an erratic and confused manner. The driver lost control of his vehicle and slammed into a road divider, and then into an unfortunate fish truck, and then, to complete his eventful night, a chicken truck, causing severe damage. After the incident, the two sides did not reach an agreement, so traffic police took the three vehicles to the Phnom Penh Municipal Police Traffic Office, waiting for a solution later. Poised delicately as though ready to fly into the ether, a precariously balanced car is all that remains after a drunk driver came a cropper 2 nights ago in Phnom Penh. Bemused bystanders say that the visibly intoxicated man was seen driving a candy-coloured Lexus RX 300 along Route 217 in a west to east direction at high speed. Losing control of his car, he hit a stone barrier and found himself perched halfway up the damaged road divider. The man, realising the inevitable consequences of his drunken actions, then fled the scene, although when you look at the picture, it's hard to imagine how he actually got out of that car. There is a glimmer of light in all this madness, though. Cambodia will soon introduce compulsory insurance on all types of vehicles to ensure victims of road accidents will receive compensation. I guess it'll be like the third-party insurance we have in Australia that's tied to registration of the vehicle. How this insurance system will be implemented and administered remains to be seen, but it has to be a step in the right direction. We do have an Only in Cambodia story this week. A man is in custody after being arrested for stealing a monk's gold Lexus. Police found the car and the man was lingering nearby, so they asked him whether he owned it, and the man replied that he wanted to sell the car for 300,000 baht. Police became suspicious and sent him to the headquarters of the 807th Border Guard Battalion for interrogation. Stealing from a monk would have to give you the worst karma possible, you would think. And some good news. Cambodia recorded just 2,005 cases of malaria in the first half of this year, and that's a drop of 3% from the same period last year. Cambodia has had no fatalities from malaria since 2018. This decline in malaria cases is attributed to better awareness, better equipment, and better treatment. That brings us to the end of this week's news. You're now up to date with all of the most important events in the kingdom. Thank you so much for watching. As always, links to the stories mentioned will be in the description of this video, and we'd like to thank Heartprint again for providing today's ride. Take care, have a great week, and we'll see you soon.